Hey everyone, I hope you guys are all doing really well. So I have some really interesting and exciting news and updates to deliver to you guys. There is so much going on a personal level, on a collective level. This is probably going to be a bit of a long video, so just bear with me. There's a lot of information I want to deliver, and I'm definitely going to be uploading more regularly now for a number of reasons. We are kind of in crunch time here right now, and in some ways I'm sort of overwhelmed. I mean, it's obviously a good feeling, but you'll see what I mean. So what I want to do first is preface this energy update with a quick personal update of what's been going on within my union, because it will make sense as far as the dates that I've been given now. And I will do another video where I'm talking more about my personal update and the recent thing that happened, which is really very crazy and very insane and miraculous, I feel. So I hope that my story inspires you guys, because big things are happening right now. I want to really assure you, no matter what things look like on the surface, I want to assure you guys that things are shifting in a really, really, really big and major way. And if you haven't felt it already, just know that you're going to start to feel it very soon over the next few months, going into the remainder of this year. As I said in my yearly outlook video I was getting back then, 2018 is going to be a massive year for twin flame unions, 3D physical unions, it being a number 11 year. And I guess I just had no idea how true that statement was, and how even when I said in the last video that I uploaded at the end of the video, I was like, the very end, I'm like very casually like, yeah, so I'm guided to kind of, turn in more and get ready for my own personal union. I really had no idea when I was saying that statement just how true that was. I mean, I was getting that nudge, don't get me wrong. My guides were like desperately trying to warn me and alert me, but I was still, I guess in some ways, almost not believing that there was like an end in sight to this separation, but of course I was feeling it. And let me tell you, a week after uploading that video, I was in contact again with my twin, very serendipitously. So things are shifting. It's no joke. It's here, guys. It is absolutely here. I am still flabbergasted. So just bear with me as I get through these messages. And I mean, of course, I want to relay this to you guys, obviously, because you've been on this journey with me. Anytime we have any sort of good news, I feel we should all share it with each other, and inspire each other. And, while I should state right here that I'm not in full reunion yet with my twin, but the reunion process has started. And the reunion process may not necessarily look how you think it's going to look, but just allow it to unfold how it's meant to unfold. And, I want to share this news for obvious reasons, but the important reason is that while I don't necessarily resonate with me personally, just, labeling myself, as a Blu-ray or whatever, I know that I am a Blu-ray, and I have been told that and shown that. And so in some way, I am sort of a catalyst for other unions. And of course, as you guys probably realize by now, there's a whole like domino effect to this. And, those twins who are already coming into union are kind of paving the way energetically for other unions to come in. So I know that this big thing that happened on my end is a sign, it's a precursor for what's to happen for some of you guys, or at least those in my soul group. And it's big, like it's here, it's happening, things are definitely shifting. But still remain patient. It may not happen overnight, or it could. But I feel that this summer is really big. I'm getting that the total lunar eclipse on July 27th is going to be really powerful, and I'm getting that information for a number of reasons, and I'll share more of that later. But that's going to be a powerful shift as well for everybody. So yeah, so get ready mentally, physically, spiritually, and let me share a bit of what happened as well. Okay, so I just want to say one more thing actually before I get into that. As well, in the last video when I was talking about the event happening within March or April, and as it was channeled by my guides and what was coming through in those cards, I felt it was not going to happen in March or April, and sure enough, it did not. So it doesn't mean that things are still not happening, of course, and I believe I said that in that video, and I wanted to give everyone hope, even though at that time my guides were confirming and I was sensing that nothing, major as far as, I'm talking like a rapture type of event, was not going to happen in March or April. And I still, I'm still getting the guidance as well that it's still years off, but there's still going to be sort of like, mini events, not even really mini, but precursors to that are going to be happening along the way, little bursts of energy to sort of like prepare us for that main event, which is still years off, I feel. So I feel that the time period that we're in right now is sort of one of those periods where we're getting that burst of energy. And as well over the summer with the eclipse season, I'm sensing especially the July 27th eclipse, we're going to be getting these bursts of energy. And I'm just really floored right now because I was getting these dates here right now, the week that we're in, back in early March. I want to even say in like February, I was getting these dates and I was like not really clear on what it meant, and I was still kind of tracking it. And to be honest, I don't really follow that many channels, and there's a reason for that. There are many beautiful light workers and twin flames that are out there that are doing this work, but I always like to get my information authentically so that I'm very clear on where the information is coming from, and that I'm not like subconsciously, drawing it, from other videos and stuff. So I really don't, I don't even read that many spiritual books anymore or anything. I just like to get my own information from source himself or herself. And then what's really interesting to me is that I'll get this information and then I'll be guided to other videos who are saying the same thing. And I'm always just so floored and amazed. And I guess I shouldn't be that surprised that getting the confirmation that we're all getting the same information at the same time. I shouldn't say all, but it's very common that happens, or we'll get the same cards or whatever, and it's incredible to me. We're all in this journey together. We don't know each other on a personal level, but we are all soul family. We are all connected, and we are we're getting a lot of the same guidance. So this seems to be one of those times where other people are getting the same guidance, and it's really exciting. So to preface what happened personally real quickly, just so that I can explain these dates, I was seeing back again, I want to say it was maybe even February, the end of February, I was getting 606 quite frequently. And this was a new angel number for me, and I would still like to get up a video talking about how watching angel numbers and how they evolve and what it all means. But I felt that this was something that was personal for me, and I was watching it. I knew it had something to do with my union, so my guides were preparing me that something was going to be happening within my union, so on and so forth. I was still sort of like, in some ways, kind of skeptical, and but still believing, of course. But lo and behold, I'm walking down the street one day in a busy borough of New York City, and I kept checking the time because I had to be somewhere. and I look down at the clock. Sure enough, it's 6:06, which is what has been happening quite frequently. It's 6:06, I put my phone down, I look up, all of a sudden, there is my twin. He's literally walking out of a doorway as I'm walking past it, right after I checked the time at 6:06. We bumped into each other. I was obviously, in shock. We were both in shock. Next thing I know, we are hugging each other and making plans to have coffee and to get together and to talk and this, and that. And I'll talk more about what happened after that in my personal update video, but obviously I was elated, in shock. It's just there's no words. And this is how it's going to happen, guys. Like, you could just be walking along, your path one day, not really paying attention to much or whatever. Next thing you know, you're T-boning your twin on the street, and making plans to get together. It could happen in all different ways, but it will just sort of come the way it did the first time. The first time I met him was just randomly on the street as well, almost like a T-bone kind of situation. And it's interesting because we met at 11:11. At 11:11 was when I made it official and put my number into his phone. There's so many synchronicities around our initial meeting, around our reunion. It's off the charts. And this, just expect the unexpected. It could happen at any day, at any moment. And you will get warning. There will be signs. I want to post another video as well, as far as like what signs to look for. And I'll give examples of, at least what my guides were showing me, how they were sort of warning me that this was coming. There were very clear things that started to happen the months leading up to it. And looking back, it was so clear. They made it so clear that this was going to be coming in. But I'm a skeptic, so I'm like, yeah, right, And he was there, right on time, at 6:06. I'm just in shock. Just in total shock about it still. We talked for many hours after that. He confirmed so much for me. Guys, like the divine masculine, I always hated those terms, asleep and awake. I never resonated with that, but, we have to kind of all call it something. But they are very much awake and aware. They are getting our messages. They're in this with us. They understand more than you think that they know. And he confirmed so much for me as far as all of that goes. And I'm still really processing everything. And this is still 2 months later. I'm still processing all of this. So after that happened, I still kept getting this 6:06, and then I was seeing 6:06, 7:07, 8:08, 9:09, right? So I'm like, okay, there's some kind of progression going on here. 6, 7, 8, 9, but it always stopped at 9, and then I started seeing 6:09. So then I was getting the impression that they were giving me that this was more something that was happening on a higher collective level, not so much anymore related to my personal journey. So they were expressing more that that they were showing dates, 6/6, June 6th through June 9th. There was something about that window, right? So for some time, I've been kind of sitting with this, meditating with this. Lo and behold, I was guided to this video from a very beautiful light worker talking about doing a twin flame reading. She's interested in the twin flame path, and her guides are giving her 6/6, and she's, getting all this information, and she's, was talking as well about, the grander scheme of it all, and so on and so forth. But other people are saying this too. I'm now finding other videos. You can't make this stuff up. It's crazy to me. And what I want to explain here is that, obviously I'm recording this today on June 6th. I tried to record this several times before. The sound quality was just horrible. But there is something about this window that is happening right now, and I'm being shown that it's not just today, that it's lasting through June 9th. So what I was shown in my meditations, and this is over the course of I don't know how much time, but it was through several meditations I was getting this, information. They were showing me, now bear with me because I have like notes all over the place. They were showing me so the 6-9 symbol started to kind of morph into the yin-yang symbol. Okay, so I was getting this impression that it was like these two halves coming back together, conjoining again as a whole. And that completion process will happen on June 9th. Almost like this window starts on June 6th, and then the completion process is on June 9th. Now, I was sensing that this was all on an energetic level, okay? It could definitely happen on a 3D physical level rather. You could hear from your twin. You could serendipitously bump into your twin on the street like I did, over these next few days. The sky's the limit. I feel like anything is possible right now. But I'm not, forecasting that whatever 3D unions are happening over the next few days. Don't get me wrong. This is really more of like an energetic merge, an astral merge, a merge in the higher realms, a metaphysical merge, whatever. But it has very grand implications, I think, more than I'm even really kind of understanding at this time. So I'll definitely do more videos about this, but I think it's just all in preparation for what's to come, for our 3D physical unions to come. There has to be this, these steps and processes that has to happen sort of leading up to that. So I feel like that this is preparing both of us, the divine masculine and feminine, but I feel more preparing the divine masculine, being as though he's the second to awaken twin, and I do feel that he has more clearing that he has to do, and I'm going to talk more about that. But there seemed to be this sort of like balancing energy that was going to come into completion on the 9th. I always see twins as someone who studied biology, as a cell that it, has divided into two equal, completely identical parts. And this whole yin-yang thing, 6-9 thing, kind of merging back together to fit into this beautiful whole piece once again. And please no one say anything perverted below about this number and what I just said. This is very important spiritual stuff here, guys, okay? But that's kind of what they were showing me. There's this there's this conjoining together again, but within that there's this sense of like perfect like harmony and symmetry and this feeling of being completely in sync and in balance. And what's so interesting about that is that again, that video that I did in January, whenever it was, the yearly outlook video for 2018, I was getting that sense in the Two of Coins or Two of Pentacles card, and that was in the position of the outcome for 2018. And I remember saying, I don't remember exactly what I said, but I remember getting this sense in that card energetically that there was going to be this feeling of merging, completion, like equilibrium, symmetry. The Two of Coins talks a lot about like balance, and there's a infinity symbol in that card. And there just seemed to be this sort of like balance across the board between the divine masculine and feminine. Like, there's no more awake, unawake, none of that crap. It's like we're in complete harmony and equilibrium within each other. And that's exactly the feeling that they were showing me in these meditations that process will be going underway over these next few days. And it's interesting too, because we're at the exact halfway mark of this year that this is going to be happening. So it's like, and I said that back in January or whatever. So it's like halfway through this year, this powerful number 11 year, we are hitting this sort of like 0 point again. And I feel like, again, like the sky is sort of the limit from here, of the trajectory of where we're going from here, which I do feel is 3D physical unions. Maybe not necessarily for everybody in 2018. I think it's more for like the first waivers, early second waivers, I'm not even really clear what wave I am. I think that I am on one of those waves. I don't even really care anymore. That's the whole point. I want everyone to please surrender any idea of a date or whatever. And of course, we could all be wrong, because I think that things shift, and we'll never really understand the grand plan, the grand scheme of things. However, speaking of dates, what I was getting from my guides most recently is that this whole 5G network thing that's supposed to roll out in the next few years, it's going to have some pretty harmful effects on the planet, on all wildlife and plant life, and, humans, of course. And for those of you who are not aware, you can look more deeply into that. But it is pretty harmful, these frequencies that are going to be on the planet at that time. So what I was shown is that all, if not most, will be in 3D physical union by the time that 3G network rolls out, and it will help combat some of those harmful frequencies that are going to be on the planet at that time. So if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on this, I think the 5G is expected to roll out within the next 2 years or so. And that's kind of the timeline that I was always kind of feeling and sensing. And I know a lot of other twin flames and light workers have been sensing that kind of the same time frame as well. Within the next few years, all the waves will be in 3D physical union. So it sort of fits, but please, again, I don't think that any dates are concrete here, but it's just to say that there is a whole reason behind all of this, why things have to happen in a certain way, in a certain order. We're here to do big things. We're here to make a lot of changes onto Gaia. That is just one of many of the things that we're going to be helping, is helping humanity combat these harmful frequencies. And I'll talk more about in future videos as far as like timelines and what I've been getting, because just what I've been experiencing on a personal level the last few months, it's like I keep getting this feeling that this is true for my journey, so I know it's true for others, that like they wanted me to stick on this certain timeline, because things are like I said before, things are sort of happening in a certain order, and there seems to be this whole like structure to it all, this whole mathematical structure to it all, and they want me to stick to it, hence like the 606 thing, the 1111 initial meeting. And even, my twin noticed the same thing. He said there seems to be like a mathematical equation to what's going on with us. And he's, a guy that's, big into math and stuff. And, he's totally right. There is a whole structure to this, and it is in our control. It's still sort of out of our control. We still have to do our work, of course, but just trust the universe and trust God with what is unfolding right now. I mean, it is perfect. The design, the plan is perfect. For us to even bump into each other on that street, I mean, this is in Brooklyn, New York. It's a busy street. Like for us to run into each other at that time, I mean, are you serious? Like, so the other point there is that things are always in play. Things are always in motion. Even if you think that things are not moving how you want them to, or nothing is happening at all, things are always moving towards getting you back to your 3D physical union, because that whole thing, that arrangement that had to happen on that street, even on our initial meeting on the street, which happened to be Union Street, you can't make this up. That was in play for who knows how many days, months, years, eons, whatever, but of course him and I couldn't see it at the time. So things are always working in your favor. Please trust that, guys. And it's really important to just really monitor your thoughts and your energy field, and just try and to just trust the whole process more, and to trust God, and to trust your twin, and to trust that you guys, you signed up for this together. You were chosen really from the divine to do this. So he wouldn't have chosen us if he didn't think that we'd be able to fulfill our mission and to get through this period. So please have faith in that process. But there's so much more I want to say here. So to go back to this whole like 609 606 thing. It's like, even if you look at like the two numbers next to each other, 6669, it's like, I see this 66 as like the divine feminine facing the divine masculine, who's on the right, who's still sort of like facing away. And then the 6-9, you see it's like the divine masculine, now being the 9, is sort of turning and now facing the divine feminine. So this is sort of like an allegory for what I think is happening over these next few days. The divine masculine is now sort of like turning and facing the feminine, is kind of conjoining again in this whole process. And the way that that's going to happen is that there's going to be a strong activation, you can call it, of the divine masculine over these next few days. I mean, starting now, really. They were showing me in another meditation, actually this was in acupuncture. I get a lot of visions in acupuncture. So they were showing me the Emperor card specifically from the Doreen Virtue Fairy Tarot deck, which is interesting because that card is like is powerful. There's a whole other story about that, but they were showing me that imagery, and I get the Emperor card a lot for you guys, as you guys know who have purchased private readings, to represent the divine masculine. And it's this very like powerful, of course, energy, the Emperor card, and it's the number 4, very powerful angel number. But the imagery that they were showing me through that card and also downloading me with was that there's this powerful like light energy that's over the divine masculine's crown chakra at this time, and they're going to be receiving powerful like downloads and visions and dreams and such, that they may not even be, some of them may be consciously aware of or unconsciously aware of, that they're going to be getting these messages and downloads. They may just be like subtle feelings, but they're not really sure like what it is. They may process it much later on, but it's basically an upgrade, and that's going to be coming through down their crown chakra into their heart chakra as well. There's a powerful heart activation that's happening there as well, and in their third eye. And this is all happening to the divine feminine as well. We're not excluded from this. I think it is going to be more powerful for the divine masculine for reasons I already mentioned, but we should be able to feel it as well. I know I am already feeling it. I already started to feel it yesterday on the 5th, which is also breaks down to an 1111, the numerology of it, and I want to talk about the numerology as well, and the dates that we are in at this time. But with this Emperor card energy, it's like the divine masculine is going to be sort of remembering his true authentic self, is going to be stepping into his powerful masculine energy, and really understanding that he's more than just like a soul in this 3D physical body. He is really remembering his past lives and his really divine powerful self, and that's going to, of course, manifest in different ways within his life. He will start to, understand that the karmic situation, if he is still in one, is really no longer serving him. There's going to be a powerful, like tower-like energy that's going to be happening with him and with the divine feminine as well. I've already experienced this. It was like a frigging tornado ripping through my life. Because especially for those who are on the waves of union that are approaching, like I said, we're kind of in crunch time, so we really have to release those things, those thought patterns, those jobs, those friendships, whatever it is, even dietary habits, things like that aren't serving us. They're going to be completely relinquished now, and it's a really powerful tower card energy. So. And some of you may have already been experiencing that as well. But with this Emperor energy again, so they were showing me this crown on top of his head, and they kept making reference to the crown, and there is a crown in that card also, in the Doreen Virtue deck. And it's interesting because I went to record this the other day outside, and like I said, the sound quality was really poor, so I had to do it again. But as I was walking to go record that, I'm on the street, and I'm like thinking about the crown and how they kept talking about the crown and everything, and what it all represents. And then I look up, I see this grown woman wearing a crown on her head. It was just so random, and I mean, what are the chances of seeing something like that? I mean, and it looked just like the crown that was in this card. So, I mean, I know this is Brooklyn, but still, it was just so random that that I saw that crown right as I was thinking about it. And, you know, so again, it's like what that really just represents is the sense that like the divine masculine is reclaiming his throne. And again, remembering, there's going to be this remembrance of who he is and the connection he has with you. Not that he ever forgot, but it's going to be sort of like this solidifying kind of like aha moment. Like, yes, I know who I am, and I know what I am meant to do here. And I know that I am meant to do this with this person, his divine counterpart. And so a twin flame friend of mine, has been having some pretty significant dreams, I think, that started over the last few months about her twin being a king and her being a queen. And, you know, again, this whole like crowning scenario. And she was getting the same messages months back that like the divine masculine is sort of remembering his true self and realizing that he sort of needs his divine counterpart, his queen, to help fulfill his mission of like saving the kingdom. You know, there's this whole story that like went along with it. But it really resonated with me, her whole series of dreams, because it's, I feel that that's what's coming through right now over these next few days is him coming to that realization and realizing he needs his queen to sort of, to fulfill that. And I also meant to say, guys, as always, this I say divine masculine, but this could apply to the divine feminine who is quote unquote unawakened. I don't like that term, as you know, but take what resonates from this. So the queen could be receiving her crown as well over these next few days. Also, they were showing me DNA upgrades. They were showing me a DNA double helix. That's powerful at this time for the divine masculine and the divine feminine. We're going to be getting basically just DNA upgrades, light codes. There's a very strong feeling of, very powerful feeling of divine love and twin flame love for our counterparts. That's coming through. I meditated with this, I think, yesterday, and I was honestly brought to tears. It was really very powerful. Just the feeling that I was getting from the collective, from the divine feminine to her counterpart, and vice versa. It was so strong. It was so unbelievably beautiful and overwhelming. I just felt the love from everybody, and I felt that it was just really like uninhibited and unbridled. Like it was just sort of like free flowing and available. You know, like nobody was sort of like holding it in anymore. The divine masculine was able to just really like let it out and let his feelings flow for his divine counterpart. It was really beautiful. Even more powerful than that was the feeling that I was getting from these amazing, incredible starseeds that are just waiting anxiously to incarnate here on Gaia, who will be incarnated through the through the twin flame unions. And for those of you who you've already felt your child coming through, for those of you who know that you are meant to be a mother or a father with your divine counterpart, the energy was so potent there. Like I could really feel those souls just like dying to come through and incarnate. And I can't even describe the energy of these souls, because they are so powerful and so advanced. so unbelievably advanced, these starseeds, that the likes of Earth has never seen before, and their love was just so abundant and flowing, and they're rooting for our unions too, because they want to come down here. And that's really what made me tear up, was that whole energy, because it was incredible. So I think that, again, over the course of the next few days, I think that this is something that, you may be picking up, or you may be feeling in your meditations, and that is coming through, even if just subconsciously, down through the divine masculine. He's going to really feel that, and it's going to be a powerful activation for him, no doubt. I want to talk a little bit about the numerology as well, and this is interesting what I was shown. So like yesterday, like I said, the gateway hadn't officially started, but it was still, we had 11/11. And then the date today breaks down to a number 5. So this is a powerful start to a change, a very powerful change that is underway. And I already, explained what that all means. But the last day of this gateway, if you want to call it, is 6/9/2018, which breaks down to a number 8, which I always see as, the infinity symbol, of course. I don't have to explain the significance of that in twin flame unions. But to go back to this scenario of the cells, it's like I also see it as like these two cells, again, sort of on top of each other, but yet still conjoined and coming back together as making a unit. And what's interesting too about this is that, so if you add up the numbers, you get the same end result, of course, if you add it forward or backwards. But I've never added it backwards before, and my guides had me actually add it backwards. So if you add it backwards, it breaks down to an 11, and then an 11 again. You get it twice. So it started yesterday, 11/11, and it's ending on the 9th again with 11/11. And you'll see what I mean if you break down the numbers backwards. So there's definitely something to that, to this whole energy here. And again, if you guys don't feel it, or this is not resonating with you, or you don't see big changes, it's okay. Like I said, things will unfold how they're meant to, and you may not always be consciously aware or feeling every shift that is going on within your dynamic. Just know that there are always things that are going on in your favor behind the scenes, and I assure you, and like I said, I'm kind of floored that other people are, we're getting all the same messages. I assure you that something is definitely happening over these next few days. I can definitely feel it already. I just want to look over my notes here quick to just see what I missed. I know this is a pretty long video, so just bear with me for 1 second here, guys. All right, so something else I forgot to mention, and by the way, the original recording of this video, when I tried to do it the other day, was number 66. You can't make this up. These things have just been coming in off the charts regarding this. I was also shown in meditation the pink lotus flower, and I was getting this in the past as well, and what my guides were showing me is that it is a symbol of divine unions coming together in the 3D. So this was shown to me kind of powerfully again, and I just was getting the sense that this is a sign that these unions are to come. And I firmly believe this. I have always felt this, that twin flames are meant to come into 3D physical union in our lifetime, and also relatively soon. Relatively soon could mean still, a few years off or whatever. But I know it's coming. I can tell you from my own experience with my divine masculine, it is already unfolding. It is absolutely already unfolding. It's here. I experienced it. I experienced the shift. And like I said, be patient with the reunion process, because it may solidify overnight. It may take longer than you think that it will. I think it is harder too for the first waivers, early second waivers, because like I said, we're paving the way for the other unions. So we're still sort of like getting our feet wet and understanding how to do all this. This has never been done before. There's no freaking, manual for this. When I started this journey, there was no manual. We kind of just have all been sort of winging it, and I shouldn't say winging it. We get tremendous divine support, but we have to be patient with this whole process. It's tremendous. It is absolutely tremendous what's going on. So, one more thing I want to say to you guys before I end this video. My twin absolutely, unbelievably activated me, and my Kundalini, I'm having a very powerful surge of Kundalini energy that I know is directly coming as a result of him. But I do feel and sense that even if you're still not in contact with your twin, you may be feeling a surge as well of Kundalini energy now, or maybe over the next few days. So always the guidance there, and really what you guys should be doing every day is just meditating, being out in nature, eating a very high vibrational diet, drinking filtered water, try and get a fluoride filter for your water, and really getting off of social media and all media as possible. But you may also be feeling extra tired at this time, so honor that. I've been needing a lot more sleep and rest than usual because of all the changes that I've been going through. So honor your body, forgive yourself. If you do need more time to yourself, it's really important stuff. What's going on right now. But if anyone needs any personal guidance right now, I am available for that. Like I said, I've had this tremendous upgrade and surge of energy and Kundalini activation direct from my twin. So I am really feeling the vibes. And my readings have already been sort of changing in a really powerful, positive way. So I'm really excited to share that energy with you guys and the guidance that I've been given. And like I said, I'm going to start uploading more regularly now because there's a lot of information that's coming in, and I feel like this is a really critical time for twins, and a really, really exciting time for twins. And I just want to thank all of you guys for your love, for your support, for being along with me on this journey, for all the other twin flame teachers that are out there that are doing this work. I'm going to end this video because I'm going to start to actually cry. But I just am still in shock and awe that I'm even at this point where I'm sharing this information with you guys, and I'm sharing the story, or will soon share the story of the beginning of my reunion process with my twin. I mean, after a long, almost 3-year separation, at times you think there is no end in sight, but I assure you that there is, and I am still processing the fact that this is happening to me, and that I'm even sharing this with you guys, and I'm just very humbled, and I'm very glad that I didn't cry, because the last few attempts I tried to do this, I was just sobbing at the end. So let's end it here. And I love you guys all so much. Please reach out if you feel guided to, and I will talk to you guys again soon. And I send lots of love and blessings your way. Take care.